I mean, some of these expenses that we make just to go and see the Burj Khalifa, for instance. I mean, why can you not go to Paga, for instance, to go and see what happens there? Why don't you want to go to the Molly National Park? You know, you ask little kids today, where do they want to go for a holiday? And they are mentioning all these beautiful, grandiose ideas. I want to go Disney Island. These are all.
But somebody is promoting it.
Exactly.
So the reason why we come on air and say let's go to Caravan is that if we don't paint pictures in people's minds, they will not demand it. That child, by the time he gets to GIS and he has disposable income at 18, wants to go to Burj Khalifa because every time he puts on DSTV, he sees it.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So if he listens to this radio station, you hear that in March we can travel across the country and there are things you can see that will enhance your life and it is good.
Sure.
Number two, he should have an experience that when he goes, the toilet flashes actually, and that the road is not bad. Some economic priorities are a matter of course. But some economic priorities are enablers.
Yeah.
So adding value to your exports is a matter of course. But tourism is such a powerful enabler that if you leave it undone, looking at the structure of your economy, you will only have yourself to blame.
That's true.
So value addition to exports or raw materials, a lot of people do it. The Asians have perfected it. It may take us a very long time to get to the level of efficiency of the Chinese in adding value. I always use my furniture example. But Charlie, Ghana's unique placement in West Africa. Yesterday there was a story about NAFAC on the graphic front page after 60 years. Yeah. Look, I think one of the best things government has done is the year of the return. The thing they did with the 2019. 2019 was a major year for Ghana. I emceed one of the diaspora conferences, Sky. There are people in the Western world who are of African descent who want to come and invest here. Yep. Of course, our economic fundamentals have thrown a lot of that out of the window. But I'm sure when things normalize, there's a lot of diasporan interest in Ghana. Some for tourism, some for investment. And I feel Ghana's placement within West Africa, even in Africa, is unique. We are respected, we are loved. If we can improve our infrastructure, take our tourism seriously. We got more money from this thing, private remittance, than we got from FDI.
That's true.
Let me make it stark for you. There's a whole office called DIPC trying to get FDI. With all the efforts, they got about 3.5 billion in 2020.
Remittances.
Private remittances, what your uncle will send, what Godfrey's father will send. It was the same amount with no office trying to mobilize any money. So imagine if we said let's have a dimension of development called diaspora relations. See the kind of thing Jacob Cheblante was doing.
Yeah.
All right. Sky, when I went to the slave river at Asin Manso, when you get there and you look at a number of people of Ghanaian descent from the US who have come to write their names on that wall,
Yes, please.
you will weep. Like, the thing is so powerful. You see a student, 19 years old. I had to do this for my great grandfather, who a lot of them don't even have any closure. I think it's Jake who built that place or sort of redesigned it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any concerted effort to say, let's create an experience
Out of that.
for people to make it on their bucket list that anybody of African descent, whether they are in Guyana, they are in Jamaica, they are in US, for the way we would have marketed that as a roadshow. Charlie, I think there are dollars to be gotten.
Yep.
Oh, plenty.
A lot of dollars to be
It's
gotten.
a whole experience. We know how the slave trade took place. All you do is you can start from there. The slave river where they maybe had their last bath. They can have a whole route where you call it, the when you get to the castle, there's that door that says door of no return. So you can you take them through that path. They can reenact it. They can actually take the same journey, what the slaves may have gone through, take them through all of that, put them in the dungeon there. It's mind-boggling to think that the experiential tourism hasn't become our bread and butter, because roots tourism is the best thing we have to sell, probably.
Imagine getting to Amina Castle.
Yes.
Then there are various versions of the book Roots by Alex Haley, right? Then you have, for example, a VR, virtual reality reenactment of what actually happened.
Exactly.
With a narrator using someone like Fritz Barker's voice. Then there are a series of movies like on Cape Coast, Elmina, where people within that month of March, when we go, can go and watch those movies. There'll be lectures.
Yes.
And this is the kind of thing that PANAFest and NAFAC and all those
are supposed to be doing.
But for some reason, we do it and then we go back.
Have you been to the Museum of African American History in in Washington, D.C.?
Oh, my God.
Listen.
I mean, Nathan, when you go on these U.S. exchange programs, one of the things you realize is that one of the reasons why U.S. does well is that they they want to own the
Own the
history.
story.
There's museum for everything.
Everything.
There's museum for everything.
I mean,
Think
the
about it.
Smithsonian has so
There's a
many
news-
museums.
there's a news museum.
Natural History Museum, Space
There's
Museum.
museum for everything. And when you
Everything.
go, you will spend money.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the books I bought there, I didn't plan to buy them, but after they tell you what they,
What they
I mean, the first, the war in Yugoslavia, the pickup that had the first bullet, the journalist who was sitting in the pickup, they put a picture there, they show you the bullet hole, you take a picture next to it, then the history of news. You know, they make you feel proud of your journey as a journalist.
Yep.
By the time you meet the Pulitzer winner, you are so enough because they've already prepared your mind.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go to the Lincoln Memorial or you go to the Martin Luther King Memorial. I mean, if you look at Nkrumah's statue in the Pantheon of Greats, there should be a whole
Museum dedicated to that.
Kwame Nkrumah should be.
We are
then
fi-
not
we
not
are
him
fixing
alone.
the mouse.
Others.
There should be a whole Nkrumah
So
tour.
we are saying that
We are fixing
sometimes
the
when we talk
mouse.
about development, it's not just debt exchange, macroeconomic, interest rate. It's just simple things like
Soft issues.
Yes,
Low
and,
hanging
you know,
fruit.
because there's even the countries that we think are hard. He will tell you, like China and those, even Korea. Look, do you know the number of Americans who now watch Korean soap operas?
Yeah.
Do you know
In
how?
fact, here in Ghana, it's a
Do you know how much Korea? Do you know how much Korea has invested? So apart from Hyundai and Kia,
And Samsung.
and apart
Samsung.
from Sun,
and Samsung.
there are Korean soaps that are penetrating even Western markets because somebody says it's not just about the hardcore cars. Because if I want to, because to feel good about a hardcore product, there must be a softer side of it. Okay, so even what the Nigerians are doing in Nollywood, now when pastors are preaching, my pastor will usually make reference to, he said this one is like a Nigerian movie.
Wow.
He keeps saying this thing or this, like, because it's like they've done it so repeatedly that you know that this is how we behave. It didn't happen by accident. We blame Nigeria for being whatever it is. They say Nigeria is a dysfunctional separate Nigeria, but at least they have the sense enough to know that they have to own their own cultural heritage. They have to invest in the arts. They have to spend money to do things like movies, stories, and we don't do jack.
We did NAFACA 60 over the weekend.
We don't do jack. So please, we are begging Minister of Tourism, Ghana Tourist Authority, Akwesi Agyeman and co. Please,
These are the areas.
your industry may not get the biggest budget, but I'm telling you,
Make the most of it.
you are very important to our future. So please don't sleep on the job. Why?
Adino,
I
please